some interesting things yesterday. Bengals lost to the Chargers and didn't look great doing so. Joe Burrow struggled for the most part. And then the Ravens lose to the Steelers. They have the potential to tie the game up, but they go for two and try to get the win. And the play call was pretty good. They just didn't execute it. But very interesting call by John Harbaugh to go for two and kind of go for the throat, if you will, with the Steelers there in that game.
Yeah, John Harbaugh has become quite the gambler. Ever since Lamar Jackson took over, loves going for it on fourth down. And when he decided to go for two, I respected the decision. And, honestly, the play worked. The play was there. TJ Watt kind of disrupted things a little bit, so the throw was just a little bit wide. Mark Andrews probably should have been able to haul that in. He's made spectacular catches. I mean, Browns fans saw one a few weeks ago. He's got that capability, but, the Ravens were that close to maybe finishing off the Steelers, and instead, it's kind of just chaos. And you mentioned the Bengals. Now Joe Burrow has something going on with his pinky finger, and that was a game that they had opportunities to go win. But, we see Jamar Chase basically bobble a ball away for an interception. Joe Mixon put a ball on the ground for a pick six. Nobody really wants to go win this division, it seems like. Or, the teams that try, like the Ravens, they come up just short. So this thing is still pretty wide open.
Yeah, and the Ravens also lost Marlon Humphrey for the season, a torn pectoral muscle, and he is definitely out for the season. John Harbaugh confirmed that. Let's take a look at the AFC playoff picture since you mentioned it. And the Browns at 6-6 are 11th, but as you and I talked about before we got rolling on air, they're 2 games out of first, and nobody in the AFC strikes fear in the hearts of anybody. I look at the skill position players for the Patriots, and it's not one of those things where you walk in and you go, man, I don't want to face them. There's a little bit of that with the Chiefs, but you have to play defense too. So as much of a struggle as it has been for the Cleveland Browns, and as inconsistent as they have been, everything's still in front of them. The question is, can they string together 4 or 5 really good games of football?
Yeah, unfortunately, the Browns have fallen victim to what every other team has fallen victim to, just wild inconsistency. And you mentioned New England. They're probably the hottest team right now, them or Kansas City. But there's so much football left. We've seen how that can change. Tennessee, they might be getting Julio Jones back at least, but they're still playing without A.J. Brown. And, of course, Derrick Henry. If he comes back this year, it might not be till the playoffs. Baltimore's injuries. Kansas City, like I said, is hot. We'll see how long that sustains. There's just so many flawed teams. There's an opportunity there still for the Browns, but now they've got to make their move because, Buffalo has that potential to get hot and reestablish themselves as one of the best teams in the conference. Indianapolis, all of a sudden, has come out of nowhere, and they're a scary team. Obviously, Carson Wentz has his flaws, but they're a scary team if you have to face them in Indianapolis, say in a playoff game. I don't know if they'll win the South or not, but they're going to have that opportunity. So, and now the Dolphins are coming up behind you really quickly too. They've won a bunch in a row, and they've got their bye week this week. So they're getting into this mix. So if the Browns don't figure out a way to win this division, the wild card is going to be really messy. And this is just going to be a sprint to the finish line, and there's still 5 weeks left.